Hi, I'm Diana, the artist behind Mimic Doodles. Welcome to my channel. Hey, welcome back. I've been making a lot of holographic stickers lately, and I thought it might be a fun project to make one digitally. So today we'll be making this animation in Procreate that looks like a fun, sparkly holographic sticker. For this project, we're using the brush called Holo Overlay. When you draw with this brush, it naturally changes colors as you draw, and when you press down, it'll make even brighter colors. So it gives it a nice holographic feel and makes it really easy to quickly fill in an area with these sparkly stars. The brush used for this project is available on my website. If you go to dianamcdermott.com and go to the brush tab of my website, you'll see the holographic overlay brush that's available. While you're there, don't forget to go to the freebies section of my website to pick up some fun Procreate tools and join my free Doodle Squad. You can make your canvas whatever size you wish. I made mine 1080 by 1080 pixels because that is the size I would use for an animation that I would post to Instagram or something like that, or social media. But you can certainly make it whatever size you wish. I would recommend doing 300 dots per inch, whatever size you create. This kind of depends if you plan on using this as an animation or if you plan on using it as like a piece of artwork. So just size your canvas accordingly to what your end project plans are. For this project, I'm working with an image that I have already drawn. So I drew this and I put the white border around it just like I would do when I'm creating real stickers, and I exported it as a PNG with a transparent background, and then I just added it back into my document here by going to this wrench tool to get to the actions menu, and then you can click add and then insert a photo, and I just pulled it from my camera roll. So we'll make this illustration look sparkly by adding layers over top of it and changing the blend modes, and also using the animation tool that's included in Procreate. So what I'd like to do first is make a new layer over top of my Wonder Woman, and I'll grab my holographic brush in a bright color. It kind of doesn't matter what color you choose, as long as it's something that's like up in this area here, it'll make nice bright sparkles for you. So it can be whichever color you wish. In that new layer, I can just swipe over and just put the sparkles focusing over top of the illustration, not worrying so much about these sides here. And you can do a few passes with varying degrees of pressure to kind of get it to look the way you want and to get enough sparkles showing up on the screen. For this layer, I am going to set it to vivid light. So I'd like to change the blend mode right here. Right now it's set to normal. If you see the little N there, if I click that, I can select vivid light from this menu. And the last thing I need to do is clip it down to my Wonder Woman. But first I need another Wonder Woman to put in the next level above the vivid light holographic layer. So that's my duplicate, so I'll just turn that one off. I don't need it right now. And then for the vivid light, I'm going to tap the layer and press clipping mask, and then it's going to clip right on top of my first Wonder Woman sticker layer. So we need to do our next level. So I'll go to my newest Wonder Woman, and if you would like to duplicate it at this time, you could certainly do that, and then just turn off the uppermost duplicate and just work with the one here. Make a layer on top, and you're going to add sparkles again in the same manner. So something like that. And then I will go into the blend modes and press hard light. And again, we're going to clip it down. So you tap the layer, press clipping mask, and now it's associated with this Wonder Woman here. It can start to get a little messy, so I recommend putting these into folders. And also when you have your animation, you'll need to have them grouped up into folders, or it'll treat each one of these layers as its own frame in the animation. So it's better to keep it kind of organized as you go. So I'm going to tap that layer and swipe to the right on the Wonder Woman, and then press group. And then this whole thing is my next sticker, and then just organize this one here. And so now I have 2 levels. So we'll make 2 more. I have my Wonder Woman that I'll duplicate again, and then work with this one. Make a new layer over the top, swipe through with the brush again to get the holographic stars, and then we'll set that one to pin light. And you can play around with the different blend modes too. You don't have to necessarily use these exact settings, but this is a fun way just to kind of get familiar with how the different settings affect your layers, and just kind of a fun project to mess around with. So certainly play around with the different blend modes and see how they look and how they look for your illustration, because it might look different on different backgrounds too. So I'll do clipping mask and then group these up. And this is my last Wonder Woman, so I don't need to duplicate her again. So I just make sure that layer is turned on, put the plus sign to make a new layer on the top, and then this one, go again with the holographic brush. And then for this, I'd like to push hard mix. And you can see this looks a little odd. So what you could do is try different colors, different degrees of pressure. I don't really like how that green is standing out like that. So once you have the blend mode set, oops, you can push clear if you need to go again and kind of like see what color works better for your particular drawing. So it might not be, there's no like exact science. You kind of just mess around with it and play around to see what blend modes work well and like what colors. So I think like that looks better. Okay, and then I'm going to group those up. And so now I have 4 folders. What I'd like to do next is go to the animation assistant. So I'll go up here to Actions, Canvas, and then Animation Assist, and just click it on. And since I was neat as I went and kept all of my layers in folders, I don't really need to do anything as far as like grouping things up so the animation works properly. If you have all of your layers loose, then you'll need to group elements into folders that you would like to be treated as one frame. But mine's pretty good here. It's already organized. So I'll just go ahead and push play. And you can see how it's sparkly. Now this is sparkling way too fast, but you can always adjust your frames per second here in the settings menu. And you can just make it a little bit slower. And then you can get something like that. Some of the frames look a little harsh, and that's easy to fix as well by either playing around with the blend settings or the opacity sliders. So I'll pause this here, go back, and one of the frames looked really purpley. You can see it's hard to see when you're working in the animation with the animation assist turned on, because it shows you all of your layers depending on like your onion skin opacity. It gets a little bit like confusing and messy looking, so it might be easier to create all your layers without animation assist turned on. I'll just go back up here, turn off animation assistant, and then just like go through and figure out which one of those was the one that looked a little wonky to me, and it was this one. So this layer, you could simply just turn the opacity down halfway, and it's much more subtle, and I think that looks a lot better than having like a really bold holographic effect, because it won't look as real. So I'll just go through and adjust these sliders to reduce the opacity just a little bit so that it looks a little bit better to me. So I think that might work out. And then we can check it by just going back to the animation and turning it back on and pushing play. I think that looks pretty good. That looks like kind of what it would look like if you had a real sticker and you had it in the light and we're moving it around like this. And that's kind of what I was going for. So I'm happy with this. And then I'll show you how to export it or save this as something that you're able to post onto social media or Instagram feed or wherever you wish. When exporting this, sometimes you can run into some issues as far as like having a final product that you're able to post as an animation on your social media or have it be useful in like Jiffy or those kind of things. So if you go up here and you press share and you export it as an animated MP4, it's only like 1 second long because it's only going to pick up these 4 frames. Now what you could do is just like duplicate your folders, and like if you wanted to duplicate that level and just bring it to the very top, and then duplicate this one, and then bring that to the top. Well, I think those reverse, but anyway, you get my point. And duplicate this one, and then bring that to the top. Then you'd have like extra frames. That's one way you could do it and make your video a little bit longer. So now it's going to be like 2 seconds, but you can't really post a 2-second video anywhere. So what I would recommend, instead of doing this way where you have to make like tons and tons of folders where you eventually are also going to run out of layers, a better method would be just to record your screen. You can just push play and then tap 4 fingers on the screen to get all of the extra stuff to go away. And then you're just going to do a screen recording of this. So if you're on an iPad, you can pull down from the top and push the screen recording button here. And then while it's counting down, I usually go back in here and I get my thing set up and I push play and then tap with 4 fingers to get a nice clean screen. And then I will just let this record for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds or something, and then go ahead and manually crop it. And then I have something that I can use on my social media. You can't save this as a GIF or GIF, however you say that. You can't save it as that format and use it on Instagram. It won't let you post that. So you have to do like some sort of alternative method right now. So something like a screen recording would work just fine. So I've let this record for, I'd say that was at least 10 seconds. And then I'll just go up here and then turn it off. And I'll go into my photos and then I'll crop it and trim the beginning and the end of the video so it doesn't show me like turning on my screen capture thing and turning it off. And then it makes it nice and cleaned up. So here are my photos, and I see this is actually 46 seconds long, so that's like way too long. It's because I was talking to you guys at the same time, but it's a much easier method. So then you could just like clip it until it's like 15 seconds or something like that. So you just kind of adjust these slider things until it's like a shorter video. I turn off my sound because I don't want my voice through the whole video like in the background. And then you can push the crop and choose square. And then I just like to make sure it's lined up good. If you see there's like this right here at the bottom, this gray bar from Procreate, I don't like that to show. So I just kind of make sure it's all lined up good and I kind of crop out that gray bar. I crop as little as possible so I don't like lose my design, but I just want to make sure it looks cleaned up and good. It doesn't have any like weird border around it when I post it. So I would use that and then just press done, save video. You could save it as a new clip, but I don't mind if it just overwrites this file completely so there's no confusion. And then you can post this onto your social media. So here I am on my Instagram page, and I thought I would show you how easy it is to share your animation from today's project. So I've already cropped it and done everything I needed to do to prepare it over in my photo library. So all I have to do is push next. There's no sound, but just in case for some reason it like kept the sound, I always like to turn it off there just to make sure. And then you could apply filters if you like, but I'm just going to leave mine alone. If you wanted to trim it in Instagram, you certainly could. So you could trim off those ends where it shows you starting and stopping the video and all of that stuff. And also you could crop it in here. But mine's already set up the way I want. If you want to choose a different frame for your cover, then maybe choose like one that really shows a lot of the sparkle. And then you could just post it. It's so easy to post once you have it set up like this. Something like that, and then post it. If you make this fun little animation, I'd love to see what you created. If you post it on Instagram, you can tag me at MyMcDoodles so I can see your work. And don't forget to go over to my website, www.dianamcdermott.com. And if you go to the freebies tab, you can get lots of fun tools and brushes for your Procreate app. And if you join my free Doodle Squad, you can access a more extensive library of really cool tools, palettes, and brushes for projects like this. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next fun tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.